Boom. Hello. Let me turn this background off. Hello and welcome to the council live. Woo! Wow, so much fun. It is 1:15 in the morning. Whoa, that is my voice. I don't like it. Sorry. Hello, hi Isaac. Welcome to the council's live review of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. It just ended, and it didn't WandaVision itself. Thank the Lord. Um, we are here to talk about it and do all that fun stuff. And I am joined by two East Coast people, so pray for them because it's like 4 in the morning. We have our resident communist, I guess, Natalia. What's the word? No, it's not communist. What do you call
I'm
yourself?
a
Socialist.
socialist. I'm a
Socialist. Sorry.
leftist.
Same thing. Yes, hello, welcome. Yay. And
Yeah.
then we also have a resident Marvel boy, Antony. Hello.
I'm the communist. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. I mean, we got the perfect group here because we got, socialists and Marvelists, and that's what the show is. So that's great.
And
Um,
Merchus.
yeah. So, WandaVision, or not WandaVision. What am I saying? Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Well, now it has a
God.
new title. We should say spoiler alert.
Oh, yeah. I
Please do
mean,
not
if
watch.
you're up at this hour and you're watching this and you haven't seen it, I
Go to
mean,
bed.
get help. Captain America and the Winter Soldier. I love that.
That
Yeah.
was so good.
Yeah.
Phase
Um,
4 has really been bringing it with the suit designs so far.
that they have. I was
And
Eh,
that suit
well,
looked great.
Shang-Chi, his suit was kind of, but
That's
everybody else,
disappointing.
I know what you're saying. Yeah,
Mhm.
tis good. Um,
Matthew,
Matthew, is it
is it
big?
big though?
Is what big?
Please explain.
It is really late in the morning, so I can misinterpret that real easy, my friend.
We
Um,
all can.
yeah, let's talk about the show. What'd you think
I didn't.
overall?
Oh, fuck. Okay. I liked it. I guess it was good. Um, Again, one of those things where if I don't think too hard on them, then I'll enjoy it. But if I do think too much on them, which is good why Ben is in here because I'm going to leave happy, um, it's good because if I think too hard, I'm just going to get real depressed, real sad girl energy. And we don't need that kind of stuff at 4:19 a.m.
Mm. Um, oh, Matthew clarified. He said the finale. Big it was.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Hi Isaac, hi Jico, hi Charlotte. Oh, Charlotte made it. Yay. Um, Anthony, what did you think of the show as a whole?
Yeah, I really, it was something that dawned on me. The episode title, by the way, we should mention is One World, One People. And I thought it was interesting the way that they took this show to kind of take Captain America, this symbol that obviously has a very clear country of origin, and kind of make him a hero more for the one world, one people. I thought it was interesting by the end of it what they were making Anthony Mackie's version of the character be, because it was, it's something I had never dawned on me, that this is such a Hollywood franchise that you had a character with the American flag on him leading into battle. So looking at the series in total, I feel like it there were a lot of interesting ideas that I think it brought forward that it didn't have to. I think all the Isaiah Bradley stuff was very nice, and how it wrapped up in this episode was beautiful. I think a lot of the questions it posed were very interesting and intriguing. And yet it still had all the fun Marvel action that we like and a lot of the cool character dynamics that we enjoy. So in the end, I felt like this was what Marvel does really well. I don't think it didn't like exceed those expectations, but I think it did what it knew what it was, and it did it very well. And so I think, yeah, it's definitely a big success.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think the show as a whole has been like amazing. I'm not somebody who is a Marvel. I'm not like a Marvel hater, but I'm also not a Marvel stan. I'm not a stan or a hater of anything. I like judge everything on its own, except if it's like Ava DuVernay because it's like funny. Um, but you know what I mean. So I went into this with low expectations because of WandaVision, um, and it really um delivered on everything because it's not what anybody expected. I was expecting more, classic Marvel action and it'll be a little bit like Civil War and all that. But it was like something Marvel's never done before. And with the amount of social commentary, especially the time it came out was perfect. I mean, Illuminati confirmed right there. There's no way you can get better timing than that.
Well,
Um,
Marvel's timing has been insane. The fact that Avengers Endgame has the whole blip of a
mhm.
year before the pandemic, like they, Kevin Feige has like a third eye or something
Yeah.
because he's been able to predict. I mean, think about,
Kevin
they wrote
Feige,
this.
soothsayer confirmed.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, when you realize that Falcon Winter Soldier was supposed to come out in, I think, was it August of last year, which would have been like what, 3 months after the unfortunate incident with George Floyd, like, and then you had like the John Walker thing, like it was crazy how the
Yeah.
show is very well, but it's like Spike Lee. If you're paying attention to the
Mhm.
world, you can reflect it in your art in an
Yeah.
appropriate way.
I mean, I was gonna make another Illuminati joke, but I think, that comment about the John Walker thing, not to get like political, but honestly, this could have come out at any time, and that would have made 100% sense and would have correlated to something because
Mhm.
of the way, as an outsider, the way that your country is portrayed right now. But that is
Oh
all I will say on that.
no,
Um,
we
yeah,
it's okay.
You're
Isaac,
not
Yusuf,
wrong.
Isaac says Yusuf needs sleep. I know.
We all need sleep.
We all do.
Yeah. Okay. In fairness, though, I'll answer the rest of the questions in a bit. But like today was a
Was it?
wonderful day. It was a packed day. It was like
You're
amazing because we
happy
woke
about
up.
that?
We woke up. We had Conjuring, which was great. We had the AT&T investor call, which was great. I mean, their
Conjuring
numbers.
was
I didn't
today.
even know that would happen.
Yeah. Because you
Oh
guys
my
slept. I did not. Then like almost right after that, we had our Mortal Kombat screener, which was really fun. I don't know if
Not
anybody
for
outside
me.
of, I think it was just me who watched it. I don't know about Antony, but I had that. And we're gonna do a live review on Saturday at 2:30 p.m. Pacific. So join us.
Yes.
So we had that, and then right after was the Film Independent Spirit Awards, and that was really fun. Um, and then Falcon. So it's just been a good day. So sleep is for the week, Isaac. Sleep is for the week. Um, Jico, do you now wish Falcon went first rather than WandaVision, or are you happy the way it is?
I'm cool with it.
I'm,
I
it's
don't I
interesting.
don't mind that much. Mainly just because I'm like, on the whole. What is it
Yeah.
that this version is called? We have the magic version. We have, what is this one called? Like the punchy punch one? The one that Grace Randolph always
Punch a
calls it
punch.
the punch punch.
I'm
So yeah,
confused at what
I'm
you're
Science.
okay. I'm
asking.
always okay with the punchy punch.
Yeah.
I don't care
I
enough.
think if this had come first, WandaVision would not have been as big as it is because
Yes.
people would have had like no disrespect to WandaVision, the first episodes are good, but it would not have been as big because that had the benefit of being the first thing out of the
Well,
gate.
I think also WandaVision being first was only because of the world that we were living in. And I think a show all about the fact that we're trapped inside and consuming television, it just resonated. Like, I love
Mhm.
WandaVision, but that show really resonated with people way more because of the pandemic. And that's not a slight on those people, but it's on the people who made it. That's just the truth. So I think I like, if it's interesting when Black Widow comes out and like you look at like the original phase 4 plan of release, if whether that will, how people will, if people will continue to marathon this and tell, like, watch this story in the original way or in this new way. I don't mind. I think the fact that WandaVision was celebrating television and that was first, I thought was a nice way to
Thing.
get into
Yeah.
Marvel TV.
And there's two things I want to bring up here while we're talking about like release dates and which came first. Black Widow would have killed if it came out in like 2 weeks. Riding off the high of this finale, that would have made so much money. But now we have to wait till July. And that is the dumbest decision in history. But also, I want to talk a little bit about the COVID changes from Falcon and WandaVision, because WandaVision, Jack Schaefer and what's his face went around and crying, "Oh, COVID ruined our show, blah 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 blah." Suck it up, Buttercup. They had to change their entire story for this show because it was a pandemic. They had a pandemic virus in this fucking show that they had to completely change, and they did it effectively. And not only did they do it effectively, but they also had callbacks in the early episodes that they brought back. Nothing was left tangled. So what do you guys think about that, the COVIDiness of both
Well,
shows?
I mean,
wasn't Falcon and the Winter Soldier supposed to come out in August of 2020, and WandaVision was supposed to come out in spring of 2021? Like, wouldn't
Yes.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier have been more ahead of shooting than WandaVision? So WandaVision definitely would have had, and also the fact that then the release schedule got switched and they had to go first. So they definitely would have had more to deal with pandemic wise. I'm not saying that,
Yeah.
because in the end, I still think that, listen, I think both finales, and I know the inevitabilities that they will get compared. I don't think they should be compared. They're different things. We don't do this with a lot of other things. It's just that they're both Marvel television. But listen, I think if you're looking at both finales, but it seems that all these Marvel shows are about building up these supporting characters. And I left now Captain America and the Winter Soldier season 1, and we'll get into that. The fact that this seems to be leading towards a season 2. I left that show with a better feeling of who these two lead characters are, the same way I did with WandaVision. And I think it just, in the end, I look at this as another great job of, like, you really defined the characters. You knew your goal. And I think people, when they see now Sam in the movies, if they're watching the show, I think they're only going to respect him and really appreciate him more. I feel like where Marvel maybe in the past got tripped up with, like, oh, everybody has a black best friend. I feel like now, because we're getting into these characters and their complexities and their differences, that is kind of going away. So
we hope.
that's my own thing. I don't think Falcon and the Winter Soldier was definitely farther ahead in production when the pandemic hit. I believe.
I agree with that. I think, look, both, I mean, art is subjective, whatever. But
Never change, Yousef.
I think, WandaVision, again, I might be wrong, but I believe they went first because they were ahead in, like, they said that they were going to be ready first. You know what I mean? So even, like, I don't think that was, like, sprung up on them. I think they were like,
well,
we can-
it could have been an Incredibles 2, Toy Story 4 thing where those movies were supposed to have switched release dates, but then Pixar chose, and Brad Bird said how, like, listen, that wasn't the plan. I lost a lot of time.
Yeah.
So, it's not always fair. Listen, when Kevin Feige writes his all tale book about his time, I'm sure it'll be a very
It's
interesting
going to sit
read.
right next to the one that Yousef has of Bob Iger.
Bob Iger, The Ride of a Lifetime.
They're going to be besties.
By Robert Iger. There
available
it is.
now.
Robert and Kevin.
Your books. I don't know.
I want to pose a question because I think it was very clear with this episode, this finale, that this wasn't the end of the story, which was different than WandaVision. What did you think about that, and what would you like to see from a season 2?
I'll go first, unless Nat, you want to go first.
I don't think I have any thoughts. Wait, I do have a question though.
Sure.
Does the end credit scene they did, are we doing spoilers?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Does the end credit scene with Sharon, is that the one that ties into Black Widow, or is it the US agent?
Okay, none of it. I'll tell you.
None.
That's a Canada joke. No, I will tell. Okay, so because clearly they changed it, because I believe that it was connected to the pandemic story. So what I heard was the whole plot of Black Widow was they were trying to get the serum from the Black Widow program that would end up being some sort like the main plot point in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Now, I thought that was a super soldier serum, but clearly, I mean, maybe it was,
We'll
but I
find
think it
out.
was the virus-y kind of thing. And then there was an end credit scene with what's his face, Thunderbolt, whatever, and Falcony things, and that was gonna lead right into into the show. But to Antony's question, I don't think that there's gonna be a season 2. I
You don't?
don't think they need a season 2.
Correct.
I think these Marvel shows work better as limited series, and I think because there's so many stories that you can tell and they tie in directly to the movies that it just kind of I want to see these characters on the big screen now. I don't want to,
But
Disney Plus them. Yeah.
looking ahead at all the projects, I mean, Marvel's probably announced up to 2024 at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Where is Falcon? Where's our new Captain America going to be? I mean, I think the fact that they do the title change, and the fact that they they're campaigning for it in Best Drama Series makes me think they are going to do a season 2 of this.
Are they campaigning in Best Drama Series?
They are.
Okay.
That's why I'm thinking.
Then never mind.
Because this felt to me, where WandaVision, I think, was very clearly the end of that story, and it felt like save for the loose ends that they're saving for Doctor Strange 2, it's all that was wrapped up. This very much feels like the beginning of a show. Like Carly feels like a season 1 villain, and we'll probably get a bigger villain in the second season now that the show's proven itself.
Yeah. Yes, Nat. Go ahead.
I don't like that they made her a martyr.
Sharon?
No,
Carly.
Oh, yeah.
I don't like that they made her a martyr. And then I was really annoyed about that. And then boom, all of a sudden I blink and we have even more racist Captain America, US agent.
Yeah,
I'm even more annoyed.
What did we think of that? That was something that was interesting.
US
to me.
agent?
Well, not only US
or
agent,
martyr?
the fact that, well, both, but more US agent, the fact that, he comes in, and it was odd how the show kind of, I don't know if it excused what he did, but he was definitely fighting with them.
I want to defend this. I would like to defend this because I love the show. I don't think that they're okay. Bear with me here.
Okay,
But
I'll try.
Depending on your point of view, Marvel does a very good job with this show of like not being Bernie Sanders and not being Donald Trump. Do you know what I mean? They don't pick a side. So if you are somebody who is conservative and you watch the show, you are taking things away from it that are very different than Natalia watching this show. And I think they do a very good job of that. I don't think they're excusing it. And I think I like the lesson that they're kind of teaching of like, growing and forgiving. I don't like this whole cancel. Oh my God, I'm gonna go on a whole rant. I don't like this whole like one person makes one mistake and they're gone forever. And I understand like killing somebody is horrible, like absolutely horrible. Not excusing it. Totally not excusing it. It's horrible. He should be in prison because he killed someone, and that's what happens when you kill someone, you go to prison. But I do like that he actually made an effort to try to save the bus. You know what I mean? He is angry. He is maybe a little bit racist. Sure. But he did try to make an effort. And I think it's good to show people actually being people and like having their bad days and their good days and trying to help but messing it up, as opposed to US agent bad, Carly good. You know what I mean?
And in the effort of him trying to save that bus, he dropped his little aluminum foil shield.
Yeah. That shield looked way too good.
It did.
I'm sorry.
He was doing like some 5-minute DIY crafts in the episode before, and then now it goes out looking like this. And then if you like flick it, it's still good. But
I was half expecting like it to be like a paper plate.
Totally.
Yeah. Well, because this is the thing. If he could build that shield,
anyone can.
Anyone can,
Yeah.
exactly. So
But yeah.
were there any what were like the highlights for you guys? For me, I would say the Isaiah Bradley exhibit,
Love
was really
that.
powerful because that seems to be what the thesis of the show was, which I don't think any of us saw coming into it, but I really appreciate that Kerry Scoglin and Marcus Spellman, Malcolm Spellman.
Malcolm.
Um,
I
it's a
don't
long
know.
night. Um, I really appreciate that that was what they wanted to do with this.
Yeah.
That was probably my favorite moment. But I mean, just Anthony Mackie stepping up to the plate after what,
This
7 years, 7 years. It's just a lot of great and a great action sequence too. I thought this whole 20-minute action sequence was really well done. And also more Julia Louis Dreyfus. I hope she sticks around.
she's
This
so
week,
sexy with her little purple streak.
He was
I
great.
just loved this and her and Amelia Clark, like two of my favorite actresses, got cast in the MCU in the same week. So I'm very happy.
I do really. I mean, again, this show I think is perfect. Perfection. Nothing wrong with it. Um, I sound like you, Antony. Jesus, what
I
happened?
love it. We switched places where I'm like, it was good, but it
Yeah.
has some flaws.
Who would have thought? I really liked the monologue that Captain America had with Mr. Senator and
In front
Mrs.
of the
Senator.
world.
Yeah, where he was like, terrorist and refugee and
That
thug, these
was
are labels that
my
you put on.
favorite part.
It
And
was really good.
that was why I was vying for him in the things that we were doing. But then you were like,
Oh,
no,
yeah, yeah, I
let's
know.
give it to
I'm getting what you
Sebastian.
mean. Shh. But in fairness, we didn't see that episode yet. But um, that clip I'm gonna use for best writing. I'm just gonna tell you now.
Perfect.
Yeah, no, but it was just a really good. It was really well written and it was really well delivered by everybody. Like even the BG in the background were doing a great job with their like reactions. And I think it's a great lesson to kind of tell everybody. And like again, it applies to both sides because
Yeah.
don't put labels on anybody, not just people of color. Don't put labels on anybody because we are people and not products. Um,
Look at you.
this is what happens when I'm
So
fucking tired.
proud.
Yeah. But just never mind. I'm not gonna cancel myself. Jico says, I was surprised Walker didn't go crazy. But that's what I'm talking about.
It
Yeah, Isaac.
wasn't a
Sorry,
lesser
Isaac
show
says,
would
I
have
think
done that.
him
Yeah.
a less exactly. Because
Yeah.
Isaac says, I think him going crazy probably would have been cheap.
That is
Exactly.
correct,
That is the
Isaac.
easy thing to do. Real
Yes.
people don't just go crazy. They are driven to insanity by different aspects, and it's all about perspective.
For example,
Yeah.
WandaVision.
What a
Yeah.
Also, Yousef's
vision.
review to WandaVision, where he did go crazy.
Excuse me. We all agreed Liam was the crazy one in that
That's fair.
video. I was
That's fair.
fair. Thank you very
You were
as
fair,
I
but that's
always.
because I pulled you to the dark side.
Yeah.
I do want to say something, and it's one of the few flaws I have with the show, but WandaVision and now Falcon the Winter Soldier, I'm getting worried that the goodwill that we got with Killmonger and Thanos is starting to go a little bit down because I feel like we have the possibility of great villains, but they're not
Mm.
showing us their lives. The fact that we never got to see what, like, I would have loved to see when Carly was thrown out of her house when the blip happened.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
would have loved to seen Agatha and why she really wanted this dark magic, why she wanted to create the twins. I feel like we're losing, and I don't know why, because we have so much more time now with the television shows.
They're
I just think
making
that
them mustache twirly.
a little bit. I think the end, which Natalia, you brought up that you didn't like, I was fine with the ending for Carly. I thought it was a different path. I thought that Sharon just shooting her point blank came a little out of nowhere, but I still think it worked. Especially that image of him holding her was
Yeah, I was
very
gonna say
powerful.
Very good.
him falling down
Um,
all Jesus-y with dead what's her face was like
yeah. So
amazing.
I think
Yeah.
I feel like we have good characters. Just I think they just need to do a little bit more of showing us their lives because both Carly and Hayward have the same backstory. It's that we lived through the blip, heroes weren't here, we need to do this. We don't trust in these heroes anymore. And yet I feel like both of them, I'm like, I needed to see that. And I hope that, whoever the villain in Loki ends up being, that we get to see that a little bit more. I would say that's my one big flaw with this. Is just that, because I think everything else, the John Walker stuff was really well done. All the stuff with
very well written.
Yeah, and Wyatt Russell is very good. I hope he gets nominated for supporting actor. He's the best. So. He was the best performance, I think, on the show.
I agree. Can I disagree with you there? Because it wouldn't be the council if I don't disagree with you about comparing the villains of Falcon to the villains of WandaVision. I feel like WandaVision, as much as we love Agatha and Catherine Hahn, Agatha herself, I'm so glad people on Twitter started saying this. She wasn't a very interesting villain. She was very generic, and when it was all revealed,
she was a twist.
Yeah, but it
wasn't. Look on the bright side. But look on the bright side.
I'm talking. Hold on. It wasn't very well set up, right? And same with Hayward. It was very, generic, old kind of Marvel villain, blah, blah, blah. I think the brilliance of this show and what they did with their villains is if I can survey 10 people on the street and they will all give me a different answer on who they think the villain is. Because to some people, it's John Walker. To some people, it's Carly. To some people, it's this and that. I think this show focused on Falcon and the Winter Soldier because that's what they needed to do. They didn't need to focus on the villain because there was really no villain. It was just all.
But it's not just there. I agree with you, and I think that's a great thing about the show. I just think that in terms of character development, whether you think they're a villain or not, when you're writing a show, they are the antagonistic force on the narrative. And I feel like twice now in these television shows, when you have unlimited time now, we're not being able to see their lives. And I feel like that little difference could go a long way, because for example, when we got to the martyr thing, I think maybe some of the reasons why her death won't, you're not going to remember it as long as you could have if you really saw, imagine if you saw what she lived through. That speech that Falcon says at the end, or Cap says, would impact a little bit more. That's my only
counter argument.
Can I speak?
I know. I really thought of this and I really like it, so I really want to get it out there, and then you can have the floor. Counter argument. I don't think we needed to focus on Carly more than we did to have that speech impact us, because we have all lived that speech. That speech impacts us because that is us. We've lived that experience, not the blip, but the real world.
Oh, kind of the blip.
Well, yes.
Blip-ish.
The real world labeling all of us. We have all been labeled something. We've all labeled each other something. Everybody's labeled everybody. It's human society. It's nature. So I think that's what's so smart, is that we didn't need all of these antagonists and let's focus on this and this and this, because we can all relate to everything that's happening in the show. Nat, go.
Counter argument to your
counter argument to the counter argument.
Catherine Hahn, to your Catherine Hahn Agatha comment. She's hot. Thank you.
For a middle-aged white woman, we've had this discussion.
Yes.
Yeah,
I wanted the people to hear what I had to say.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Are there any other moments in this episode that really stood out to all of you?
I love that
Bucky.
speech.
We should talk about Bucky and him.
Lack of Bucky.
Well, no, I don't agree. Bucky was very okay. Spoiler, because there's only 7 of you watching right now. Spoiler alert to tomorrow's Blue Ribbon nominees. And by the way, tomorrow at 9 a.m. we will announce the nominees for the Blue Ribbons. Woo! But we nominated Sebastian Stan over Anthony Mackie, because at that point he gave the better performance. So I think the show was very Sebastian Stan focused towards the beginning, as Falcon was kind of figuring out his shit. And then now that this is very much a Falcon episode. And I think if you look at the whole show
Captain
as a whole,
America episode.
yes, Captain America episode. But it balances out. So I think it works. I didn't need more Bucky in this. But I did like when he went to visit the Asian man from the beginning. I forget
Yori.
his name. Yeah.
Yori, that was
Yori.
so good.
That was a really good scene. I like that they did like vignettes at the end instead of like, you know,
Yeah.
trying to mishmash them. They were like, okay, this, then this, then this, then this. I thought it was gonna end like 4 times. I was like, oh, it's over, and then it kept going.
Yeah,
So
same.
I like that.
That's what you get when you have a big ass cast, but kind of, sort of, not really. It's weird.
I'm trying to think. Is there anything we didn't hit? If you have any questions, the 7 of you,
Ask us.
please ask them.
Yeah.
I'm
Scarlett,
staring
if
at the chat.
If you're still in here, ask your questions. If not, I will pull them up on our DMs.
Oh, right. We did that.
Yeah.
What do we think? You know, this. I'm assuming if I'm going to assume there's going to be a second season, and I assume it will now have the new title. What do we think about the legacy of that character, Captain America? And you know, I'm very interested, like, in what Chris Evans thinks of this show personally, as the guy who, you know, he's literally like narratively, but now like officially, it's been passed on what he thinks and what people will think. Because I like personally, we've had this discussion before somewhere on the council. The fact that Star Wars, each trilogy, whenever you were born, you're gonna personally identify with that trilogy because it's just it's your Star Wars. Will people who get into Marvel now, or kids who are watching Marvel now, will they see Anthony Mackie as their Captain America? I'm
would
very
hope
interested
so.
to see.
Yes.
I would love that.
I
I'm
would
just
really
I'm very
hope
interested.
so.
Chris Evans is like, if he were 70 years older, he would be Bernie Sanders. So I think he is thrilled with this. I think he's you know, given 2 thumbs up and finger snaps to the show or whatever old people do. I don't know.
Old people. He's in his
well,
40s.
I know, but in my mind, I was continuing with my joke of him being Bernie Sanders. I just imagine Bernie Sanders sitting there watching this show, finger snapping. But he probably doesn't have Disney Plus. Anyway, away from Bernie, this show made me think of Captain America differently because I was very, I'm Team Cap, always will be, always have been, because that is the correct team. But this show really made me reevaluate kind of what I thought about Cap. And I don't think it's like a Cap issue. I think Cap himself it comes from a good place or whatever. It's just how he was created and what he stood for that like I had to kind of rethink. But I really like the new costume. I think it looks great.
Looks fantastic.
Yeah.
It looks like, you know, it has the Wakanda aspect to it, but it kind of almost reminded me of like a combination of like a Tony suit and a Cap suit, because it had had the techie stuff, and I think that was cool. The suit looks fantastic. The Phase 4, as we said at the top of the show, Phase 4 suits.
Yeah.
The Black Widow white suit that we're gonna see soon. The Wanda Scarlet Witch suit. The costume designers are really breaking free.
Yeah. I mean, I felt bad
To an extent.
I felt
As much
bad
as they
poor
can at
Anthony
Marvel.
Ears.
Yes.
I felt bad for his ears because when you look at them in the
I
close-ups,
know,
they're like
his
this, and I was
ears.
like, "Oh, that hurts."
Poor thing.
But yeah, I mean, I love the character, and I do think people are gonna look at this Captain America, especially people of color. I think they're gonna look at this and be like, "This is my Captain America."
Black
and then you
kids
also
specifically. Oh, it's going to be so good for them.
And then you're gonna have the people who are like, Steve Rogers is my Captain America, but whatever.
Congratulations. Go
Yeah.
watch his movies.
Exactly.
You can do that.
Yeah. What do you think, Natalia?
Me, this is good. Much excite.
Mm-hmm.
Great legacy. I did love the conversations that were had with Sam and Isaiah, because those were just spot on every single time. Isaiah showed up and he knew exactly what he had to do, and he did it. And it was great because I felt like, as I was watching a lot of those scenes, like anytime Isaiah showed up, I was like, this is amazing. This is what I've been saying this whole time. And then they proved me wrong, just like a smidge. And I'm like, look what we did, Shell. You did that. I'm like slightly impressed. Way to go.
Yeah. You know what's another way to get Natalia slightly impressed? By buying and wearing our official council merch. I'm not wearing it because I really wanted to wear this shirt with Anthony Mackie and Sebastian Stan's best friend Tom Holland doing the umbrella dance because it's really funny to me. But Captain Marvel is wearing the hoodie, Natalia
Look at
is
her.
wearing the hoodie. And it looks great. And not only does it look great, but it supports charity. And if you're somebody who's up at 4 a.m. watching a Falcon and Winter Soldier review, you like to help charity. So go to bonfire.com/store/the council. The link is in the description because it's a little bit different than that, but you get the gist. And buy the merch.
Way to go,
Okay.
Yousef.
We have Charlotte's
Questions in the chat.
questions. She
Wonderful.
said read them from the DMs, but she put them in there, so I'm gonna read them in
Interesting
there.
question.
Okay, my first one was, do they need to allow bigger things to happen in their shows so that they become more integral to the to watch straight away, or is it beneficial for general audiences to understand?
I think they're fine.
Yeah.
I think they are good. I think will be telling is what do if they have second seasons as it is rumored for this show, as it is rumored for Loki. I'm
Sorry,
assuming.
WandaVision.
Well, WandaVision was a one and done. I mean,
Yeah,
the second
for real.
season of WandaVision is Doctor Strange too.
That's true.
Um,
2
but
hours of
Or
magic.
WandaVision was canceled, and I was right all along. Ha ha.
okay. What would have been the second one? It's just enslave another suburban town and do like what?
No, she's gonna go. She's going to enslave a small town in Sokovia.
Sokovia.
Yeah.
But wait, so my thing is,
Yeah.
I think the scale is fine. I think I have been enjoying them, and I feel like if you marathon them, I feel like what the shows will feel like is, I feel like coming off of Avengers Endgame and Spider-Man Far From Home, we were in this world of an Infinity War of this like big epic Marvel movies. I feel like we need, to come back down, reset, build up these characters again, so that we can build up to another Endgame. You know,
I agree.
I don't think we need every installment of the MCU to be this big thing. So even if these were movies, I still think the scale fits. I mean, you had that great action scene in the first episode with Falcon in the sky. You had a lot of fantastic action with pepper throughout. Many like little mini. I mean, the fight last episode with Walker, Sam, and Bucky was fantastic, and then this New York sequence was great. So I think the scale is fine. I'm interested in what second seasons, if they try to up it in any way. I'm assuming they will have to. So it'll be interesting, but I think it's fine. I think for people, listen, I don't think it's that big a commitment. You can binge these shows in a day. But
Very short, very
yeah,
doable.
so I think that I think this model is gonna. I think it's working. I mean, people are watching these shows. We'll see when movies start coming out, but I think Kevin Feige might have pulled this off.
Yeah, I do agree.
It's like a comic.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
It's like,
It's like issues of a comic.
I think they need to kind of like I think this show again was like really good, and it had everything that you needed for an episodic show, which I think worked. I don't think that the reveals in either show were like, I think the scope is fine. I completely agree with you. I think they need to change the release date to either a Tuesday or a Sunday because movies come out on Friday and that does not work. So I think they really need to work on that. Yeah.
The
No, go
only example we have so far of this is Mandalorian coming out the same time of Rise of Skywalker, and
Mhm.
Mandalorian moved to a Wednesday.
Mhm.
I'm interested why they did that and why they're not doing it with the Marvel shows. I mean, frankly, I think they should just position them so that you don't have a movie when the shows come out.
Yeah,
Black
I
Widow
agree.
aside, because again, the pandemic messed up the scheduling. But so it's interesting. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, people are. I think what the good thing about Fridays is that you have families can get together on a Friday night and watch them together, and they don't
Or
have to worry about
morning.
school or stuff.
Yes, but here's the problem with that. These come out on midnight, at midnight.
Ungodliest
So
of hours.
that is a school day, right? It would be so much better if this came out on a Sunday, so it would be a Saturday night that you could realistically, if you're in school or work or whatever, stay up
True.
and watch it. I think it'll get so much more traction when it first debuts.
And you could have ye old water cooler talk about it.
Exactly.
I wonder.
You come back
I
next
wonder if
week.
it's a server thing.
What did you think? Sorry, I didn't
I
hear you.
wonder if it's a server thing then, because that like Game of Thrones obviously was Sunday night and everybody watched it and it was a big success. So, and I feel like that's what maybe they should do. Like, I don't know why maybe streaming services don't like maybe have like some like the same way that you like when you watch Game of Thrones or you used to on HBO, you watched it live. I don't know. Maybe they should do something like that. I feel
I
like that
don't
would be
like.
fun.
No, I'm sorry. I don't like that personally. Like I've heard a lot of people championing. I said it right the
Ning.
first
You
time.
had it right.
Yeah, for it. And like I don't agree with that because it just makes it too complicated by saying it comes out Friday. It technically comes out Friday, right? It's dropped right away on Friday. You don't have to complicate it with a time, then you have to do the time in every different, region and time zone. It's a mess. I think, watch it whenever you want, but if you're a true fan, you're gonna stay up till midnight anyways, or you're gonna stay up till
Or
3 a.m. anyway.
3, yeah.
So,
That's Antony for you.
yeah,
Counting down the days until I move to California and it's midnight when this
yeah.
happens.
Okay, let's.
You and
We
Joseph.
we have a lot of questions, so I'm gonna
Ooh, yay.
through. But yes, I agree. Good shows. I think WandaVision. Sorry, quick thing. That show would have been so good if they did 3-3-3 for the episode releases, but they didn't do that. Okay, next.
It's like WandaVision and Yousef were dating, and WandaVision broke up with Yousef, and he's
You're really making me Pierce Morgan in this. You're making me
yes. Keep
Morgan
going.
in the
Ask your
show.
question.
Yeah. Okay. Thoughts on Trench and New Gods being canceled? How are we supposed to get excited for future announcements if they have the potential to be canceled? Can I just take this one really quickly, unless anybody
ahead.
has anything to
Go
say?
for
Okay.
it.
First of all, the Trench, I'm kind of disappointed in that, but I think both projects, I think Ava DuVernay's project was scrapped for like reasons that it was shit, and like no disrespect to Ava DuVernay, I know we like to bust her chops because she has fingers in pies and whatever, but I think Warner Brothers like woke up and thought, I think they were trying to get rid of that movie for so long because of A Wrinkle in Time, because of how similar it is, and I think that movie just
And
looked
to
like a
Eternals.
mess. And of course Eternals, yeah, but like it just seemed like such a mess with the creative team that they were having, and not just Ava DuVernay, like the comic book writer, apparently he was like shit. So I think they
Tom
used
King? Is that his name? Tom King?
I
Yes,
think
Tom
so.
King, which he isn't.
I don't read
Good
comics.
vision.
I don't follow this, but I think they use Zack Snyder's thing as an excuse, but they've always wanted to cancel it. That's my thought. Or maybe Ava DuVernay didn't want to do it. She needed to take a finger out of a pie because she needed to stick it in
She
another
was
one.
very, she was tweeting her sadness about it being canceled. I don't know about that.
Of course you're gonna tweet your sadness. And then for the Trench, I'm disappointed. I think James Wan just didn't want to do it, to be completely honest with you. And
What
You
that's
should
shouldn't
been
have
the
said it in the
movie?
first place.
That's
I always was like, what is this movie? It's like, what is this movie gonna be?
that would have been a good HBO Max show, but they didn't do that.
Yeah.
I don't Warner Brothers. I
They
don't
need
get
help.
Trust Warner Brothers.
They need help.
We can do a whole 3 a.m. thing tomorrow about Warner Brothers if we wanted to.
This is why I support Disney, because they mostly stick, unless you're a
Hey.
fan of the Pixar
Hey.
film Newt.
Hey.
Yeah, they do mostly stick, and then they
Hey.
also film
Hey.
outside of
Hey.
concentration camps. Okay, let's move on. What can DC spin-offs show like Matt Reeves' GCPD show learn from these shows? Who wants to take this?
I didn't know there was going to be a GCP show.
How did you not
Yeah.
know? It was all over
Yeah.
everything.
What?
You
Oh,
commented about the
oh,
Jason
right.
show. Oh
I
my
forgot
god.
about that. I'm sorry. It is
Yeah.
5
It's 5
a.m.
a.m.
No, that's fair.
Screw you.
I could take this. I think that make a good show. Don't make something that is like deleted scenes of the movie. Don't make something that you feel is just for fans. Like I feel like that's something that, as much as I think we all enjoyed the Snyder Cut, it still was inaccessible to anybody who did not enjoy those previous Snyder movies or like the DC world. I think if they make a good story and they have a point to what they're doing that isn't just we want to make something that ties into the movies, then it'll work. I think what's worked about WandaVision, what worked about Falcon the Winter Soldier, is that they were shows about things that weren't superhero related. They were about grief. They were about the Black experience in America and so many other things. And they were also creative. We hadn't seen something like this before, either thematically or visually.
Mm-hmm.
It should not be, oh, these are scenes that we deleted from the movie and they're cool
Did you
things.
get them now?
Do something original.
Yeah.
Tell a complete story. Don't, I think that's why these shows are Marvel shows are working, is because people who love that world are now being more invested in the characters, and because the people who are making this are taking it just as seriously as the movies and they're making them stand on their own. I think that's what they should learn.
Yes, I agree. I do. If they have to learn one thing from these shows, it's yes, they shouldn't they shouldn't not connect to the show, but they shouldn't be like advertisements for the movies. But at the same time, you are dealing with fandoms that have theories and they dig deep into every single crevice of your film, you know? Don't lead people down roads that you're not going to go down.
I mean,
That's my advice to them, is you like, now we know for a fact that people are going to dissect everything because that is the nature of comic book fandom. Do not, for the love of Christ,
fandom, period.
fandom, exactly. Do not WandaVision it. That, and like I use that as a blanket statement, which basically means like don't, throw in clues and not do any, like don't do misdirects, because that's dumb. Next question. Have you seen the petition to recast Chadwick
Oh,
Boseman's T'Challa? What do you make of it? It is dumb. Next
oh.
question.
Very good.
Yes. Do the shows need to be longer? Does it depend on the show? Example, Loki's going to be a crime thriller show. No,
Can
they
I
don't
just
need to
take
be
this? Can I
No,
longer.
I
take this for a
don't
second?
care.
Yeah.
Whoever is still complaining about runtime they need to check something, because these people are telling the story they want to tell. I don't want it to be padded, because if they pad it for runtime and then the show loses a little bit of its emphasis and its impact, that is a worse show. If it's 4 hours, if it's 3 hours, if it's 5 hours, it doesn't matter. The shows are telling good stories, and that's what matters. So I don't care how long it is, and I don't care. Oh, Kevin Feige promised 5 hours. It doesn't matter. Falcon and the Winter Soldier is a great show. It was probably shorter than Feige promised. It doesn't matter. It doesn't change anything.
I was with you there for so long. And then you had to. Yes, I hate when people are like, "Oh, this movie's so
Let's
long,
see
it's
what
gonna
broke
suck."
Yousef now.
Um,
Probably the Feige comment.
it was a
Must be the
Feige
Feige
comment.
comment.
Like when people comment on runtimes and rating, like felt like G, PG, whatever bullshit, as if it like was gonna make a difference on the film, really pisses me off, because it does not. I don't think those things should matter. Just make the movie and deal with it. However, as the president of the company, do not go around giving interviews to multiple people while your show is going on, promising runtimes that are inaccurate.
His
At
voice
that point, the
cracked.
show was locked. You knew how long it was. Do not promise it, because people are going to go to the final episode and they're going to say, "Where the fuck are my minutes?" Which is understandable because you were promised them by the head of the studio.
But it doesn't matter in the end.
I agree with you. It doesn't matter, but he promised them. So sure, when you're making the show, make it 4 minutes for all I care, as long as
Can
it's
I
good.
just say?
But
Can I
don't
just say?
hold on.
This is the difference. Okay,
Do
finish
not.
your thought.
Yes. make it 4 minutes, make it 3 minutes, but then don't make a 4-minute show and say, oh, this is going to be, Gone with the Wind, because people are going to expect Gone with the Wind and go in for 4 minutes. Extreme, I get it, but it makes my point. Yes, Antony, go.
I just love that because I do feel there's a certain part of fandom that is like, it's like, I'm too tired to come up with the term, but it's like they want to get mad at something. And I just love that, DC, fandom. Like DC gets mad. Like people get mad at Warner Brothers like canceling projects and for like not respecting their creative visions, and people get mad at Marvel for run times. I mean, if that doesn't show you the difference in issues between the companies,
Yeah.
I don't know what will. But yes, listen, I think the run times are fine. It's
The
like
runtimes
it's
are
fine.
fine. I do agree, but also don't bullshit, because
Well, just know from now on, he means the credits as well.
But even
What an
with the credits
asshole.
of WandaVision, it didn't add
What
up
an
to the time he
asshole.
said.
Okay.
Anyway, I don't know.
Next
Chico has a
question.
question. Oh, Yutaka's here. Hi, Yutaka. Oh,
What's up, King?
hey.
Sorry that you couldn't make it to my episode. Very annoyed about that, and I know you
Yeah.
are too.
But he's gonna be on mine, and he likes me more. Okay. Chico has a question. Were you upset Yelena didn't show up in the final episode? No.
Hell
I did
no.
not
I
think she was gonna
forgot.
show up in the final episode. She did
It's
not need to be in the final
4
episode.
a.m. Did
I don't
not
know where
care.
that rumor came from. I do know where that rumor came from, but I don't want to get blocked, so I'm not going to say it. But
Smart
no.
boy.
I will say when Sharon appeared, I did think because it was the same face thing that Natasha had in
I
Winter
thought it was going to be
Soldier.
Elena.
I thought it was going to be Elena,
Yeah.
but it wasn't, and I'm happy because I am looking forward to Black Widow.
That would have
introducing
been annoying
Black
as
Widow.
hell if it was her, though.
Yeah,
That would have been awful.
Annoying. That would have been horrible.
Yeah.
it would
And
have been.
We already have another white bitch, and we haven't even finished up what she needed to do, and now you want to bring another one in?
Yeah. And I called out another blonde just 5 seconds ago, and before she goes on a fit and blocks me, I want to defend her by saying Yelena probably was in the show when this came out after Black Widow, but they probably cut her because they didn't want to introduce Florence Pugh on this show.
Which I'm glad.
Pew, pew.
So
We
in
should-
fairness, I think she was right until they changed it.
From a certain point of view, to quote Obi-Wan Kenobi, we should probably talk about Sharon as the power broker. We didn't mention that.
It didn't matters.
I don't care.
I'm just looking.
That-
Sorry, I'm looking.
She got
through
shot, and then
the
she got
questions.
pardoned, and now she's gonna do evil, sexy things. So I don't care.
Oh, those
Is
are her only questions. Sorry, go ahead.
I don't know what this says about me, but I was totally fine with Sam being called Captain America, but when they called Sharon Agent Carter, I got really possessive. I don't know why. I was like, don't you dare pass that name on. That name belongs to one woman.
She's
Oh,
dead.
right, because she wasn't. I was like, oh, they gave her name back, but then I forgot that
Yeah.
there was another agent. Oh, okay, yeah.
The
yeah.
She was
OG.
Agent 13.
Oh, that's
and-
right. She was a number.
She was a number.
I mean, Sharon.
Well,
God, why? Why is she even in this franchise? I don't like her.
They need
She
a
does
white
nothing.
woman. I'm telling you.
Even when she's the villain, what did she do? Nothing.
Absolutely
I
nothing.
think she's
Jack
a
shit.
season 2. Well, the same way I think Darcy in the finale of WandaVision was the COVID thing that they just couldn't work around was getting her to set. I think that whole power broker scene was the COVID scene that they couldn't work around because
Yeah.
it felt very much like we had to write this quickly to solve an issue. Like maybe Yelena was in that scene at one point. That scene felt like that was the one that got affected by the pandemic. And who knows? She'll
Yutaka.
probably be a season 2.
Yeah. Yeah. Yutaka, how did we like the Isaiah Bradley moment? I loved it. I too loved
Loved
it.
it.
We spoke about this earlier.
Yeah, loved it.
Loved the hell out of it. Isaiah Bradley is the best character in this show. I said
Best
what
part
I
of the show.
said. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't cried. That's all. I have cried. I'm depressed, but I haven't cried watching something.
I agree.
I haven't cried watching something in so long, and like that, the Isaiah Bradley moments, like almost got me there. So
He should be
for-
nominated along with Side Wyatt Russell. I think they were the. I
Yes.
forgot to mention
should
that.
be nominated. And
Yes.
do you know what he should be nominated for, Anthony? The council's
Well,
Blue Ribbon
Blue
TV.
ribbons.
Of course.
Join us tomorrow at 9 a.m. 9. That is like 7 hours from now. We will reveal the nominees and voting will be open and it'll be fun. Wow. Wow. I don't know.
Utaka also said, also, I am very interested. I'm very interested, Julia Louis-Dreyfus to enter the MCU. I
Oh.
too am very interested, Julia Louis-Dreyfus MCU. Yes, very sexy, much purple streak.
Thank
I
you.
would like her to
Thank you.
step on me. Thank you very much, lesbian.
I'm going to say
Movie
something that
gods.
is going to get me in trouble with both of you.
Oh,
What
no.
is Julia Louis-Dreyfus actually from? Because the only thing
She's
I've
from
seen her in was-
Seinfeld,
She's from
Oh, I haven't
Seinfeld.
seen that. Yeah.
and she's gave one of the best performances of all time, and I will fight anybody on that in Veep.
Okay. Well,
It's brilliant.
that's
She was
the thing.
also She was
I
in A
haven't
Bug's Life too.
seen. Yeah, I haven't seen either. Oh, I haven't seen either of those films, and A Bug's Life is animated. So I only know her. Well, I know her. Obviously, she's Julia Louis-Dreyfus, whatever. But I've only seen her in that shitty Will Ferrell movie about skiing that came out a couple years ago.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
God.
When I saw her, I
That
was
was like-
like, "Why?"
Downhill.
But I
Yeah.
get it.
Was
Yeah,
that the
she's
name?
Fantastic.
Downhill. Yeah.
Wow.
Which just was also the box office.
Yeah, Hannah had the exact same thing, Yousef. It's okay. I was
Okay.
like, she was in Seinfeld and Veep, and she was like, I don't fucking know what that is. And I'm like, well, it's Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Like
so
I know who
You
she
should-
is, but I've never
We
like
are-
seen her, so I'm not like a fan of her. So it just it made no sense.
we
to
are
me.
aware
Like,
of her and her presence. We're just not aware of her and her work to an extent.
I was aware of her and her presence, and I gasped very loudly when she came last episode.
Yeah. My reaction was more like when they went up her. Actually, let me rephrase that because that sounds dirty. When they like panned up and saw her
There
face,
you go.
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, it's her," and then I moved on.
I was like, hey, her.
End of my reaction. Yeah.
So I have one last question because I think we're
Yes.
getting ready to wrap up.
We need sleep.
Yes, we do.
I don't. I have an assignment.
Now that we're going on a little bit of a break, we have like a month and a half until Loki, which is our next MCU thing. What MCU project are you most looking forward to?
Loki. Thank you.
Loki, thank you.
um,
Yousef?
Shang-Chi, because Loki, we've seen Loki do Loki things.
Oh, that's true. We
Um,
haven't seen Shang-Chi do Shang-Chi things.
Black Widow, I don't care.
Same.
Sorry. And then
Sorry,
Spider-Man,
Antony.
as much
okay.
as I love Tom Holland. Tom Holland can be my best friend.
Look at that sweater.
My husband. He can be whatever he wants to be. He's Tom Holland. I love Spider-Man. I love him. Wonderful. But
I was waiting for the butt.
I've seen so many Spider-Man movies and I've seen so many overstuffed Spider-Man movies that if I had to pick, I would pick Shang-Chi. And also Eternals, I love Chloe Zhao, but I also love Simu Liu. And Simu Liu is Canadian, so he gets the upper hand. So Shang-Chi is what I want to see. Oh, that rhymed.
Shang-Chi, I want to see. I think it's obvious for me, Black Widow is the number one thing. But after that, man, this cast for Secret Invasion is coming together quite nicely.
Oh, right.
I cannot wait. So after Black Widow, Secret Invasion, I cannot wait.
I agree. Yeah.
I just want Loki because I need serotonin.
Okay.
Is she an actress that's in that?
Serotonin. Serotonin. All right, we're not topping that.
No.
I don't think we're topping.
That's yeah. Thank you.
Thank
Say
you
goodbye,
all.
everybody.
Yeah, thank you everybody for watching. This was really fun. Go sleep, please. Everybody get rest. We have a podcast, you guys. We talk like this, but with more people.
So
'Cause
many
that's-
people.
Who knows? Maybe this is the new crew. It seems.
It is available wherever you get your podcast. Kind of. It's not on Amazon, but who uses Amazon? All of you use Spotify. We can see you because we see everything. No, but check out our podcast. It's called
We
The
are the power
Council.
broker.
There's new episodes every Tuesday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We are on break right now, but we come back on May the 4th.
Woo.
Antony's hosting.
Hey.
And somebody's guessing, but I forgot who. It's gonna be. I think it's Jico, but I don't think we've emailed him yet, so I don't think he knows.
Oh no,
So
he
Jico,
just
if you're
found out.
watching- There we go. Uh,
Surprise.
yeah, no, but we're
It's
doing that
not
on May
him.
the 4th.
Sorry.
Is it not him? Who is
I don't
it?
I said if it's not him, because I don't know who else.
You know
who it
what?
is.
I'm looking this up because I'm gonna feel awful.
I have
Wait.
2% on my computers, and we
Okay.
need to wrap this up quickly.
Yes, it is Jico. May the 4th, we're gonna come back. We have a TikTok, so follow us on there. We're funny. We have a Twitter. Follow us on there because I'm funny. We have an Instagram. Follow us on there because you're already following everything else. We don't really do anything on Instagram, but it's there. Follow our Facebook because
Liam works very hard on Instagram.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he just posts the things I send him. He doesn't really do much. And he's not here to
Liam
defend him.
works very hard on the things on Instagram.
He's on a
Subscribe.
work call right now, so he works hard.
Subscribe.
Also, what is Liam's job?
I'm trying to finish the fucking show. Shut up. Subscribe.
What are you
click the
doing?
bell. Oh my god. Check out everything. Buy our merch. Sleep. Jerk off. I don't care. Goodbye. Good night.